second part of the lesson, which is horizontal slopes and vertical slopes. If you haven't noticed, if everything time you see y equals a value like 3 and y equals the value of 4, it's talking about horizontal slopes. Okay, and then whenever it says here, an example 4, vertical slope is if you ever see a value given like x equals 6 and x equals -2, then it's talking about if you're talking about slopes, then it's talking about a vertical slope. Okay, a lot of students relate this as solving equations, and then they get confused between the two. But whenever we're talking about slopes in general, right, or not general, but specifically talking about slopes, and they give you a value of y equals 3, then it's usually a horizontal slope. Okay, even y equals 4, it is a horizontal slope. If you're talking about slopes and they give you x equals 6 or x equals -2, then they're talking about a vertical slope. I could see the confusion because a lot of us, our teachers are always teaching you different things at one time, and it's hard to separate all of it. So I'm just trying to really emphasize on the difference. Okay, whenever you're talking about slopes and they give you this value, they're talking about horizontal slopes. Okay, whenever you give this value and they're talking about slopes, and they're talking about vertical slopes. Okay, and this goes on to this example here. Oh, sorry. I'll explain this later. I'll just explain horizontal slopes first. Here, yeah, we're not gonna touch that yet, Jerome. I'm not gonna talk about rise over run because I don't want to confuse your classmates. I'll teach that on Wednesday. Okay. We'll do a small exercise on slopes, just so you guys can feel confident when you guys move up to algebra 2. We'll do a bunch of questions like we're doing right now. I do understand I know what you're asking, but I don't want to tackle it down just yet. So here you have number 14 is asking you, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? See, they're indicating that they're giving you a slope, right? Whenever they indicate you're giving you a slope and you give you y equals this value, then it's talking about a horizontal slope, right? And here is slope number 2, y equals to -6, is talking about, once again, a horizontal slope. Once again, these are examples for horizontal slope. And just to give an example, here y equals to -4, y equals to -6. I graphed it earlier. Like I said, it's not that difficult to graph, right? So here you see horizontal slopes. The one in red is y equals -4. The one in blue is y equals -6. And if you notice, they are not. You obviously, when you're looking at it, it looks parallel, right? It's not gonna intersect with each other. It's gonna keep going straight forward, right? So that's how you graph y equals -4 and y equals -6. You just draw a horizontal line on the y-axis crossing the y-axis. Okay. Going on to the next one here. Once again, we're just focusing on parallel slopes first, and the second one we're going to talk about is vertical slopes. Okay. X equals -2 and x equals 6. Whenever they give you a question here like this, and they gave you slope number 1 to compare with slope number 2, which is x equals 5 and x equals -2, then automatically your answer should be parallel. And here, this is the image of x equals 5 and x equals -2. I know it's hard to see. You gotta just, I don't know how it looks like in your end. I mean, oh, it is visible if you full screen, right? If you full screen, then you are able to see that the vertical line starting at -2 and the vertical line starting from +5. Once again, we just go back. That's what we're trying to graph, right? X equals 5 and x equals -2. Go back down is, oh, sorry, let me go slow. X equals 5 and x equals -2, and this is how you graph that, right? It's a vertical line starting from the x-axis from 5 going up and down, and -2 going up and down. Yeah, and I'll explain about that next week. I just want you to get the idea of it, understand the different types of slopes before we get into understanding why. So here, the last one is, the existing example is based on a perpendicular slope. Let me erase this just so you don't get confused. This example is talking about a perpendicular slopes, is when a horizontal slope and a vertical slope intersects. Horizontal, once again, is written as y equals to a value, whatever value that's given. Here, the vertical slope is x equals to 3. When you have both these slopes given, then you can say that they are perpendicular. Same thing as like example for like this one. Here you have x equals -5 and y equals to -3. Okay, so you have a horizontal line and you have a vertical line, and this is how it's going to look like. The one in red is x equals -5. It's vertically going up and down, and the horizontal slope is y equals -3. It's going from left to right from the y-axis, intercepting the y-axis. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Once again, that's how you graph x equals to -5 and y equals to -3. Okay. And this is how you graph it. Going on to the next one. Now I want you guys to try it out. It's only two choices here. Are they parallel or are they perpendicular? The answer for this one is, looks like a lot of us participating. Answer for this one is parallel. Why is it parallel? Because once again, example here, if they're both vertical slopes, like here, right? It's a vertical slope, it's a vertical slope. If they're both vertical slopes, then you know that you can determine that they are parallel slopes. They're only perpendicular if you have a horizontal slope, which indicates that it's a y equals -4, or y equals to any value that's given. And you can tell it's a vertical because you're given x equals to a value that's given. Here, what's given is both of them are x equals to a value for slope number 1 and slope number 2. So this indicates that it is a vertical slope. Okay, a vertical slope. Moving on to the next one here. What is the answer for this one? Answer for this one is, still a lot of us are so confused. I do hope that this exercise will fix those mistakes. So the answer for this one is perpendicular. Why is it perpendicular? Once again, if you read the first slope, it's a vertical slope, like so here, example here. And here, it is a horizontal slope, like so, right? Whenever you're given a horizontal slope, which is slope number 2, and then if you're given a vertical slope, which is slope number 1, then they are going to be perpendicular. They are perpendicular. And this last one is it A or is it B? Okay. A lot of us answer. And the answer for this one is, nice. A lot of us are getting it. The answer is they are parallel. Why? Once again, here the example here is on the top left. If the first slope, if it's given as a horizontal slope, here and the second slope is if it's another given horizontal slope, then you can say that both slopes are, first slope and second slope are going to be parallel to each other. The answer for this one is parallel.